Xal'atath the Naru and the Spider Queen Gambit. New threads of Destiny detail. Xal'atath the Naru? I've not heard this three. A dark Naru? Oh. I've heard of the old god theory. I've heard she's just a harbinger theory, a void lord theory. I've heard them all. But the Naru? Let's see what Xaxis has figured out here.
Could Xal'atath actually be a darkened Naru and not an old god? Well,
Hold on, one real quick second. What the hell? Here, that shape kind of lined up. What? Damn. Even her shoulder pads. She kind of does look like a Naru with the way her... This guy figures something
not an
out.
old god? Welcome, heroes, to a quick review and breakdown
Pause the video
of the
like 10
new
seconds.
official War Within animatic titled Threads of Destiny, and see what clues might present themselves to this alternative theory. Beginning in Ashgahet, we hear the narration from the Nerubian queen, Ansarek, recalling the history of her mother's reign. Here, we see an emissary of the Black Empire attempting to persuade the Nerubians into joining the Battle for Azeroth in patch 8.3.
Yeah, it's definitely Battle for Azeroth. 8.3 makes sense. Yep, Visions of N'Zoth. This is when the Void would have likely came to them and told them, hey, these the Alliance and Horde, they're coming for us. We need you to join the battle and fight on our side. And as I said before, I don't believe we fought any Nerubians in the raid. So it looks like they got pretty much stonewalled, as they did here.
After, the soon-to-be deceased queen, Neferet, approaches a vast mural depicting a scene of old god sacrifice. Looming above, a diamond-shaped object that resembles perhaps the crystal in Hallowfall.
Yeah, I certainly think it is. And there's two different images here. So we've seen, the one he's showing right now is the one that was in the raid. When you look at it, this crystal has a bunch of, art or whatever, metal around it. Whereas the one you see in the cinematic is darkened. It's there, but it's not golden as it was in the new one that we see. So that's an interesting one, that thing that I noticed right off the bat. But is it the Hallowfall crystal? I would almost guarantee it is. It totally looks like the Hallowfall crystal in void form. I think that's exactly what it is.
Perhaps the crystal in Hallowfall shines down and is caressed by the large old god being. Who is this mysterious old god? Well, we could use this as evidence for the Xal'atath equals the fifth old god theory.
I don't think so,
Let's consider an alternative. Continuing, the Queen Neferet suddenly sees a cosmic void portal open from the center of the hovering crystal in the mural. And I think that this could lend evidence to an interesting idea about Xal'atath's true nature. What if Xal'atath is not the old god depicted here, but just like this animatic shows, she was a being ejected from the Hallowfall crystal, which many...
See, when she came out from the crystal, right away I told you guys, I was like, that's symbolism for something. The fact that she's coming out from that exact spot in there, it either tells me that the crystal needs to go void form in order for, this void lord to come, or whatever she needs. There's something that has to happen with the crystal in order for her to appear. Right, so that to me made a lot of sense. But he's saying she's in the crystal and she's the Naru in it, and she's supposed to come. That's an interesting one that I hadn't thought.
Crystal, which many and myself tend to believe might be a Naru ship crashed on Azeroth. Perhaps similar to how Kjur, the Dark Star of Draenor, was ejected from the Genedar during the Draenei's arrival to the planet. Maybe Xal'atath as we know her was ejected from the crystal in Hallowfall upon arrival to Azeroth eons ago.
Could be. She could be, and one reason why I also subscribe to the fact that it is a Naru is, guys, it's almost guaranteed that the Hallowfall crystal, this is in the lore, started the transition between void and light when Sargeras' sword entered the planet. Now, we all know previous Narus, when they start to shift, a lot of times it's triggered by damaging events. Whatever physical damaging event has occurred to them, or they just get very old. That's what starts to transition them between void and light. That's when they start to flip between the two. So it makes sense that the damage caused by the sword started the crystal to transition between, because the crystal has at its center has a Naru. Now, whether or not that Naru is Xal'atath or not, we're going to have to watch some more of this video and see if he has some real evidence here.
As the animatic continues, Xal'atath claims that the queen has heard her voice from within her dreams.
It could be that the crystal has her true body. Interesting. Yeah, because we do know this body here is just some void elf chick that she took over. Good choice, though. It's a good choice.
I think that this is very similar to how the Naru are said to have communed with the original Arathi humans of the Eastern Kingdoms. Xal'atath's appearance throughout this animatic is very cosmic void aligned, and I'd say that her two iconic blue spheres.
She took over a blood elf. She didn't take over a void elf. Is that true? Who became a void elf? Is that true? I didn't play through the quest line. Oh, it is. Okay. Oh, okay. So she was the original void elf then. Okay, I guess that works too.
That we've
That is
seen
confirmed,
orbiting
okay.
her mantle are pretty reminiscent of giant eyes, kind of like the circular emptiness we see in the eyes of the dark.
Ah, man, I never saw these physical similarities until this video. That's interesting. The floating orbs do kind of look like the eyes of the Naru.
Naru model from Argus. The shape of her cape and the radial imprint designs upon her robes is familiar to both Naru segments and the Halafal Arathi banners depicting their sacred.
He is kind of right. Look at this. Look at even the little hook here, and the light. Look at that. Look at her back of her cape. Hook here and down. What the hell? This is starting to hold more credence than I thought.
Flame. In this animatic, she refers to herself as the harbinger of the empire that was. And we can possibly take this line.
Another death
Ooh,
knight.
coming in with the prime sub. Kosa, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Death Knight of our Scourge.
As a hint that she herself was not a part of that empire. Tragically, Ansarek murders her mother and assumes the role of queen, taking Xal'atath's offer for power to join her forces. The way Xal'atath speaks to the queen in her dreams and then rallies an army of warriors at her cause is not all too different from the very methods we've seen employed by light Naru like Zera.
True.
The
She has a
animatic
light army.
concludes with an intimidating shot of Xal'atath looming over the Nerubian army, as Ansarek exclaims that they will finally claim their destiny. So while there's a lot pointing towards Xal'atath being the mysterious fifth old god who is bound in the blade of the Black Empire, here on Knowledge Wars, we like to consider the alternative angles, and I hope you enjoyed this shorter review and quicker speculation episode as something new. Thank you for
pretty
tuning in, and keep an eye out for an incoming video that we've been working on that just might shed more light on this whole Xal'atath
Oh,
old
shit.
god mystery.
Certainly, the way she even comes down as the Naru, man, that first image that he laid out here where she was coming down, yeah, right here. No, where is it? This. Her overlaid the Naru. It freaking looks a lot like a Naru. The way her cape silhouette is, the way her shoulder pad silhouette. Damn, could she be? Could she be a fallen Naru or a void Naru in this form and she's actually trying to get back to her body? It's an interesting thought, honestly. I had not considered this until I saw the way he kind of laid it out here. This is a really cool theory from him. And again, all the images that he kind of showed, she does lay over almost perfectly in the end. Yeah, again here. When she's floating up, I mean, very Naru-esque the way she's floating there. Yeah, right here. I could totally see it. Once he mentioned it, I could see it. Really cool theory. Whether or not it's true, we'll have to see. I just think she, at the end of the day, she could just be the, a harbinger who brings about void lords and it ends there. But we still don't really know what her true form is. Again, I guess took over a blood elf's body, right? We do know that, but what's her original form? What does she really look like? Is she this hot in real life? Would I care if I actually met her? No. All I care about is what she looks like now. Not bad, that's for sure. True divinity, we'd have to see. Interesting theory indeed, yeah. It's definitely a Naru in the crystal, I would say for sure. Yeah, definitely a Naru in the crystal, I agree with that. Nice video from Xaxis.